Good morning, sir.
Good morning to all.
मैं कह रहा हूँ फिजिकल मोड में करो जी उसमें गीता
Uh, a very good afternoon to everyone. So today we have with us Prayali Chatterjee ma'am for the session. So we will be starting the session at 3:32. So Anubhuti will take over the session.
Good afternoon, everyone. I, Anubhuti Agrawal, welcome you all to the day 3 of 7 days online faculty development program organized by Jagran Lake City University, Bhopal and Deroy Penal Group Prayagraj in collaboration with Guru Angad Dev Teaching Learning Center, a scheme under Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya Mission on Teachers and Teaching, Ministry of Education, Government of India. I would like to invite Dr. Pyali Chatterjee, ma'am. Before handling her over the session, I would just give a brief about ma'am. Ma'am is the head of the department at Faculty of Law, ICFAI University, Raipur, Chhattisgarh, India. Recently, she has completed her postdoctoral fellowship from Mediterranean University, Italy. She has an academic experience of 8 years and corporate 3 years. Apart from teaching, she is very much inclined to the legal research arena. She has a very rich experience in research. She has published more than 40 research papers till date in Scopus Index journals, UGC recognized journal, foreign journals, etc. She is the author of 4 books and edited 1 book with other co-editors. She has presented more than 30 research papers in overseas conferences like Italy, Paris, Sri Lanka, Romania, Hungary, Malaysia, etc. National and international conference. She has been awarded with various awards in the field of research by different organizations. Her area of interest is women's rights, health law, gender justice, and criminal law. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Anubhuti, for such a nice introduction. Let's start with the presentation. I think my screen is visible to all of you.
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Yeah. So today I'm going to discuss about the understanding the importance of citation, H index, and ITN in research. As being in academic arena, it's important for us to do constant research in our field. But the thing is that what is the importance of research in our career and why we should pursue it, and what are the points which we should keep in our mind while doing the research, that I'm going to discuss in today's lecture. Because many times it happens that we generally we do research for our career growth, but we actually don't know why we are doing it. What is the purpose of doing it? Whether we are doing it only for this API score or just to get a good opportunity in private university. I think recently we all have seen that the world top scientist list has been disclosed, and in top 2%, many of Indian researchers, they have also got selected in this ranking. But the thing is that if you or me, if we want to become a scientist, in that case, what are the criteria for it? Whether being a social researcher, being a legal researcher, whether we can also become a scientist, or our name can be, whether in future some of us can become the, we can see our name in the top 2% scientist list also. So for that, the first important thing is that how we should continue our research. Regarding this, in 2018, UGC has made certain changes in the regulation regarding this publication and all. So first, I would like to discuss that regulation, because after discussing the regulation, then I will talk about that how to pursue the research and what is the importance of the citation and the H index in our research career and for becoming a scientist also. Now, in 2018 May, UGC has made certain changes in the regulation. The first thing which is important to know about research is that earlier there was an like practice. Whenever we publish our paper, we just check the impact factor of the journal which has been mentioned by, or which has been given by any organization. So here the UGC has made it clear in 2018 that whenever you are supposed to publish your research paper in any journal, you have to check the impact factor. But the thing is that that impact factor should be awarded by the Thomson-Reuters. If the impact factor has been awarded by Thomson-Reuters, in that case only your impact factor of the journal will be considered. And if the impact factor of the journal is suppose 6, 7, 5, whatever, but that impact factor has not been awarded or granted by this Thomson-Reuters, in that case, it will be considered to be as a 0. Because on the basis of the impact factor given by Thomson-Reuters, API score has been fixed for it. If I say API score here means, for example, if you have published one paper where the impact factor has not been awarded by Thomson-Reuters, in that case, that will be considered to be as 0 impact factor. And for that particular research paper, the number which has been awarded, that is 5 points. 5 points for a journal without any impact factor. And if the journal had an impact factor given by Thomson-Reuters, but that impact factor is less than 1, for example, 0.1, 0.5, 0.60, in that case, the point for the particular paper will be 10 points. If the journal has an impact factor between 1 and 2, in that case, the point will be 15. I have mentioned that point in my slide also, but here also you have to make one thing in your mind, that if you are a single author, in that case, you will get the entire point for your paper. But in case if you are having more than one author for a paper, the point will be divided according to that. Now the thing is that prior to this 2018, as this regulation has come in 2018 only. So after the 2018, whatever publication you have done till now, if the impact factor has not been awarded by Thomson-Reuters, in that case, you can calculate your API score according to this slide, which I have mentioned here. For one paper, you will get 5 points as per this new guideline. You will get only 5 points. So please make this point in your mind that for now onwards, if you are planning to publish your paper, just check the journal, check the this impact factor, that whether the impact factor has been awarded by Thomson-Reuters or not. If it is not awarded by Thomson-Reuters, then don't consider your journal. Even one more thing which I would like to discuss here is that in India, if I talk about Indian journal, you will hardly find any journal where the impact factor has been awarded by Thomson-Reuters. Hardly. Yes, you can find some of the international publisher, like for example, Elsewhere, Springer. If you can check their journal, there you can find that some of the journal impact factor has been awarded by Thomson-Reuters. Bentham is also there, Taylor and Francis is also there. But coming to Indian journal, Indian publisher, you will hardly find any journal whose impact factor has been awarded by Thomson-Reuters. So don't get panic of it. Even though if you are publishing your paper in UGC recognized journal, in Scopus Index journal, for that you will get only 5 points if impact factor has not been awarded by Thomson-Reuters. Now, another important thing, I hope that many of us has faced this thing, that whenever we are applying nowadays, in last 3 years, it has been changed in private university actually. Whenever we apply for this job in any private university, reputed private university, now they will ask that how many research you have done and what is your citation? What is your H index? What is your I-10? So first thing is that if you are a researcher, if you are a research scholar, in that case, you must have an account in Google Scholar. Like we all know about Facebook, LinkedIn. So there is another site that is particularly for researcher, that is Google Scholar. This is a site where you can put your publication details on this particular site. And from that site, you will be able to know about your citation. But the thing is, what actually citation means. For example, you have done any research. You have done any research and you have published it. Okay. Now, after publication, if someone else referred your work in their studies, in that case, you will get one citation for it. And that citation you will be able to know from the Google Scholar. I have shared the screen. Google Scholar page will look like this. You can see here, I have taken this screen from one of my colleagues' side. And you can see his citation. 5 minutes 14 is his citation. So this is the citation where this is the number of time his paper has been referred by other research scholar or other faculty. But the thing is that it's not necessary that every time if someone is referring your paper, you will get the citation of it. For that also, it is important the journal where the others have published their paper, that must be indexed in Google. If that journal is Google indexed, then only that citation will be reflected. If the journal is not Google indexed, in that case, you will not get the citation for it. So for the calculation of citation, it is very important that the journal where you are publishing a paper or the others are publishing their paper should actually index, or their journal should actually index in Google. Then only this Google Scholar will be, like you can say that it will be applicable, it will be important for you. Because without indexing Google, your paper will not get a citation here. So how you will calculate citation? That is from your Google Scholar. But there are other platforms also from where you will get a citation. But the most recognized or authentic site for calculating or for getting the information for citation is the Google Scholar. And it is one of the criteria for getting enrolled or for selecting your name in the top scientists also. Because the number of paper you have published and the number of citation you have received for your paper, that is also one of the important criteria to be selected for top 100 scientists in the world. So you must have a Google Scholar account for this, because that is the only way to calculate your citation. Now, I hope I am able to understand about the importance of Google Scholar for the calculation of your citation. The next thing with this university, they asked about H index. That what is your H index? Now, H index means that the number of publication you have done. For example, you can see the slide here, like paper 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This top 7 paper has 8 or more than 8 citation. You can see in the slide, this top 7 paper has 8 or more than 8 citation. Here, the H index is 7. How it is calculated? The number of paper should equal to the number of citation. For example, you had published 10 paper, but in your top 4 paper, you had 3 citation each. Or for example, your first paper has 10 citation, your second paper has 3 citation, your third paper has 3 citation, and your fourth paper has 4 citation. In that case, your H index will be 3, because 3, your number of paper should always equal to the number of citation. In this, your H index is calculated. So even if not there, you will be able to cite it, you will be able to calculate it with the number of citation from a paper. If you don't have your Google Scholar account, in that case, you might not be able to calculate your H index. So for the calculation of H index also, your Google Scholar account is important. You must have this Google Scholar account. Coming to I-10. I-10 means the number of paper where you are having 10 or more than 10 citation. If in a paper you are having 10 citation, in that case, your I-10 will be 1. If you have 2 paper with more than 10 citation, then your I-10 will be 2. If you had 3 with more than 10 citation, your I-10 will be 3. So I-10 is basically the number of paper where you had more than 10 citation. Now, coming to the impact factor of a journal. As I said that impact factor for nowadays, impact factor should be given by Thomson-Reuters. If Thomson-Reuters has given the impact factor of a journal, in that case, that will be considered for your APS and for the this calculation of the point also. But how you can calculate your impact factor of a journal without considering or without asking the journal editor board also? Because many times it happens that in journal website, impact factor is not given there. So this is the formula for calculating the impact factor, because these are the information which you can find it in the website. So for example, if you want to calculate the impact factor of a journal for particular this year, for 2022, in that case, like for here I have given an example. for your reference. For example, I have to calculate the impact factor of a journal for 2020. In that case, I have to know about the citation which the journal has received in 2019 and in 2018. That is the first point which you have to find, that the citation which the journal has received in 2019 and 2018. Upon knowing that information, then you have to know the number of papers which the journal has published in 2019 and 2018. Once you have got the information, after that, what you have to do? You have to add the citation of 2019 and 2018, and then you have to divide it with the number of total paper published in 2019 and 2018. Once you divide it, the number which you get, that is the impact factor of the journal for that particular year. So here you can see that impact factor of a particular journal for 2020 is 2.98. So this is the formula from where you can calculate the impact factor of a particular journal. If the impact factor is not mentioned in the website, and if you are unable to find out the impact factor, then in that case, by using this formula, you can itself calculate the impact factor. Now, as I've said that Google Scholar is one of the sites from where you can get your H index. But apart from this Google Scholar, there is some other site also from where you can check your H index. For example, if you had a Scopus account, you have published your paper in Scopus and your paper has been indexed in Scopus, from there also you can calculate your H index. I can show you here. I think the new this page is visible to all of you, this elsewhere page. I hope this elsewhere page is visible to all of you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah. So this is also one way to find out your H index, but this will be applicable only when you had a paper published in Scopus Index Journal. So what you have to do, you have to go to the Scopus website and then you have to do the author search. You have to go here and you can search here. For example, like I had my paper here. So from here also I can see my H index. You have to put your details here. So you can see here, this is also one of the way to check your H index, but here the number of citation, the number of H index will be different from your Google Scholar, because your Google Scholar will calculate all the paper citation, whatever you have got. But here in Scopus website, you will get a citation only for those paper which has been indexed in Scopus. For rest paper, you will not get the citation here. Here you can check only those paper which has been published in Scopus Journal and which has been indexed in Scopus Journal. For there, you can get the information here. So this is also one of the way, but the main proper way to get the information is the Google Scholar. That is one which is recognized and accepted worldwide. Now, coming to another thing is that once you have published your paper in Scopus, the next important point is that you should always have an author account in your Scopus website also, because that is the site from where you can regularly check your paper updation, you can check your citation, and you can check your I-10 and H index also in the Scopus website. So apart from making Google Scholar account, you must have a Scopus account also, Scopus author account also. But that is only when you had a publication in Scopus Journal. Scopus Journal or elsewhere or IGI Global, because these are some of the publishers. If you are publishing your paper there, then they can index your paper in Scopus. So that is the reason you must have a Scopus account apart from this Google Scholar. So this is the alternate way to check your citation. Apart from this, there is another website, it is ResearchGate. ResearchGate is a website where not only you will get the information about your citation, but here you can read the work of other researchers also. It's it's a profile, it's a website where researchers, faculty from worldwide, they share their research, their specialization, they share their research work in this particular website. And while doing research, while doing publication, what you can do if you are a PhD scholar, you are a faculty, you can check this website. This is also a free website where you can download the article which has been shared by the researcher, faculty from worldwide, and you can read it freely. And if someone has not given their paper in the ResearchGate, you can request that author to share their research work with you also. So it is also equally important that you, being a researcher, being a research scholar, or being an academic, you also must have an account in ResearchGate, because this is a platform where others will able to read your paper. Unless and until your paper is available to others for their study, then you will get a citation. Because if your paper is not available to other party, if they are not able to know that you have done research in so and so area, how you will get a citation? So it is equally important that we have to do our marketing ourselves. It's a kind of marketing which we actually do for our research work. You have to share the details of work, the details of publication with the authors of other university or the authors of worldwide, so that while doing, if they are doing also research in that particular area, in particular topic, they can get your paper, and that should be available to them. Because it's not necessary that everyone had access to a particular publisher, to a particular library. So these are a kind of library, you can say online library, you can say, where you can read or you can cite the work which others have done in your research work. And this is also a way to get your paper like available to others and to get citation also. So in ResearchGate also, they had a different way, they had a different citation where that you can check in your account. And this also looks like, I'm sharing you the ResearchGate page also, how it looks like. Just a minute. So this is the page. So once you had an account in the ResearchGate, your page will look like this. So what you can do, here also you can check the citation. Here the citation will be less in compared to Google Scholar. And sometimes it happens that the citation what you have get here, that is not reflected in the Google Scholar, and the citation what you have received in Google Scholar, that will not be reflected here. So here also you will find the discrepancy, but you can check the paper, whatever the others have cited your work through this website also. And not only this, here you can cite, like for example, if you want to read anyone paper, for example, related to child trafficking, what you can do, you can search here. You can see that this is a website where you can see n number of paper which has been published in child trafficking, that you can read, that you can download from here also. So this is also a platform from where you can search journal articles or published paper which has been shared by different faculty and authors from worldwide. And this is also free. There is no like downloading charges here. You can freely make your account here, and you can put your details. You can put your publication details in this website, and you should keep updating it. You must be active in this particular ResearchGate profile. That is one of the important criteria, that you have made an account, but you are not active in it. In that case, that will have no use. You have to be active there. You can put research questions also. If you can put research question, if you, for example, you are doing some kind of empirical or some kind of field work, and you had some question, so you can put question in your ResearchGate profile, and in that you can get the information. The other research scholar or faculty, they will give the answer of your question that you can use in your research also with proper citation. So this is also one of the way that will help you for completing your research work, and you can use, and you can easily cite this ResearchGate, this profile also for you while writing a research paper. And the third is Google Scholar, that I have already told you. Apart from this, Google Scholar is there for calculation. Now, the next important part is the publication. Many of us, even we are doing research, but nowadays it has been found out that we become the victim of predatory journal. Many research scholars, many faculty, they ask me that how we can find an authenticate journal for publishing our paper. Because as per UGC has never said that you have to publish your paper in Scopus only, or you have to publish your paper in Web of Science. What UGC is asking, that you have to publish your paper in UGC recognized journal, and it must be peer reviewed. So in generally journals, whatever journals we are sending our paper, that is actually peer reviewed. And the next thing is that whether we should publish our paper in peer review journal or UGC recognized journal. Look, if you want to pursue your career in government university, or if you are working in a government university, so in government university, they will not ask you for UGC Scopus, but they will simply ask you about a peer review. But in private university, they will ask you about your Scopus only. Even they will not ask you about a UGC recognized. What they will simply ask you about your Scopus, about Web of Science. So the first thing is that how you can search an authenticate journal where you can publish your paper. So first thing is that you can check the Scopus website. The first criteria is that you should complete your research paper first. Once you complete your research paper, you know that every time we have to write a keywords in our paper. What is the function of the keywords? That keywords actually will help you to find out a proper journal for your research paper. And that is possible after completing which journal you will send it. The first thing is that you can check the website. Now, which website you will follow? If you want to publish your paper in Scopus, what you can do, you have to go to the Scopus website. This is the Scopus website. This is the page from where you can check a particular journal. For example, I know one journal where I'm planning to send my paper. See, here you can get the option subject area, title, publisher, ISN number. If you know about the journal name, you can search it through your title of the journal. For example, here I'm searching one journal which I am checking here whether this particular journal is Scopus Index or not. So once you will put the name here, the page will appear like this. You have to click this box. So the page will appear like this. And then here you have to check Scopus coverage, that whether this particular journal is still Scopus Index or not. That information you will get it from here only, Scopus coverage here. So you can see that this journal was Scopus Index from 2000 to 2020. After there is a 2 years gap here. And now again in 2022, this journal is Scopus Index. So whenever you are planning to send your paper to a particular journal, which is Scopus Index, in that case, you have to make sure first that whether the particular journal is still Scopus Index or not. And that you can find it through this way. You have to go to the Scopus website first, and from there you search for the journal. And after entering the details, you have to check the Scopus coverage here. Because once you check it, then only you will be able to know that this journal is Scopus Index or not. Now the question is that, what if you have published a paper in a journal which was earlier Scopus Index, but now it has been removed from the site? Whether that will be considered to be a Scopus Index? The answer is no. Unless and until your name is reflected in the author site, unless and until your paper is reflected in the author search, okay, or your name is reflected in the Scopus website, your journal publication will not be considered to be as a Scopus. And this is the reason, and this is the particularly reason that why the pediatric journal, they are publishing in such a way, because many of us, we actually don't know. We think that publication in Scopus in a journal is sufficient. We can publish it by giving some amount to a third party, or we can we can publish it and that will be considered as Scopus. No, that is not a way to consider a publication as Scopus. After publication of your paper should get reflected in the Scopus. And that you can find it from author search. You have to go to the author search, you have to write your name, and then you have to check it. If your paper is reflecting in that, it means you had your Scopus publication. So don't go for any pediatric journal who are asking money to you that this is the journal, this is Scopus Index, you pay this much of amount and your paper will get published as Scopus. You had a Scopus publication, then don't go for it. Unless and until you are sure about it, that the journal is not a predatory, the journal is an authenticate one, and that journal is still indexed in Scopus, don't waste your research work. That is your hard work. So before submitting your paper, whether it is Scopus, whether it is UGC, please check the UGC website. Please check the Scopus website, because this is the way to check the authenticity of a journal. Now, even there are many websites from where you can get the details of the predatory journal, like which I particularly follow for my research work, is Be All List. Now, this is one of the lists where you can get the details of all predatory journal and publisher. So if you are not sure about the journal, whether the journal is predatory or authenticate, you can check this site, and you can keep this site for your reference also. Be All List. They regularly update their website with predatory journal. Even if you know, if you're aware of any predatory journal, you can send that information to this particular website. They will check it and they will update it if that particular journal is predatory. So you can see the end, you can't see the journal list which are predatory. You can see this number of journal. Alphabetically, they have arranged all the list of the journal which are actually predatory. So before sending your paper, You can check the list here from here also. These also are the one way to make yourself sure that the journal which you are choosing for your publication, that is actually authenticate one, not a predatory one. So you can keep this site for your reference, that is be on list. Before submitting your paper, you can check this list also just to make yourself confirm that the journal is authenticate one. You can see the list here. You can see n number of journals which are actually predatory. See. So these are all journals which are actually predatory. If any of us has published a paper here, that publication will not be considered to be as a pure publication. You have done just wastage of your work here. But there are many other journals also where after writing your paper, you can check the journal where you can submit your paper. For example, Elsewhere is one of the publishers where after writing your paper, you can search the journal where you can send your paper, because many times it happens that without checking the journal, we send our paper there. Generally, if you want to publish your paper in a reputed journal, for example, Elsewhere, Springer, Taylor and Francis, what they need, you have to give your time there, because initial for 6 to 7 months, you will not hear anything from them. Whether their paper has passed the editorial process or not, that also maybe you will not get the information from them. So initial process, like whether your paper has crossed the editorial board or not, that information you might get after 5 months. So whenever you are planning to publish your paper in any Scopus Index journal, just give your time. You have to do quality work first of all, and then you have to give time for publication, because these journals take long time for publication. Minimum you have to give 1 year. Sometimes it may happen that you have published your paper last year and you are getting the information about the editorial board, about the review process now, and it may get published by coming year. That is also possible. That is also a possibility. So if you think that I can publish it in 1 day or 2 days or 1 month, no. My answer will be no. If you really want to publish your paper in Scopus Index or in a reputed journal, you have to give your time. Minimum 1 year. Minimum 1 year you have to give. So don't go to any journal who are saying, or who are just giving you the information that within 24 hours or within 3 days, you will get the acceptance of your paper. No. No reputed journal will send you such kind of mail to you, because every editorial process needs time. Every editorial process needs time. Even I am also editor. I am also a reviewer board of many journals. Whenever I receive message mail from the from the journal, they give me 3 months time for the review, for first review. Just see, 3 months. The time limit for first review they used to give me 3. After submitting the report, again they will send that paper to another reviewer. They will again take another 3 months. So this is the way. This is the way of doing the review of a particular paper from a reputed journal. So you should give time for publication. First, you have to be patient. You have to do quality work, because you can judge your work better than others. If you want to publish a paper in reputed journal, you should always choose unique topic, something unique, and try to do some kind of empirical work. Some kind of empirical, because most of the international journal, they demand for empirical work. As we all know that in law, we hardly get any of this Scopus Index journals. Yes, it is there, but there are very few journals are there, which is particularly dedicated to law. But we have to search journal which is related to our work. If you're working for child rights, child trafficking, you can get different journals for that particular issue. If you're working for this health law, you will get different journal for health. For criminology, you can find different journal. For particular law, you might get few journal, but if you can search to the topic from a subject area, you may get n number of journals for your work. But the thing is that before submitting the paper, you have to check the journal scope and coverage. Scope here means that what are the paper that the journal is accepting for publication. Because many times happens that without checking the scope of the journal, we just send our paper there. There is a wastage of time, because we are spending our 6-month time just to know the review process. And you are sending a paper to a journal which doesn't publish the paper which you have written, subject area which we have chosen. So better, whenever you are submitting your paper to any journal, just check the nature and scope of the journal, whether the particular journal publish such kind of paper or not. This is the one way to save your time, because our time is also precious. We have to show to our institute, we have to update our resume that we have done this number of publication. We have published this number of publication. So choosing right journal is equally important, and that is possible only when you have clearly checked the journal, whether the journal is suitable for you or not. As I said that there is another way like elsewhere where you can check that what are the journal where you can submit your paper. I'm showing you that also. You can see the page here. This is the journal finder page of elsewhere. Once you have completed your paper, but now you don't know that where you have to submit your paper. So in that case, what you can do? You have to write a paper title here. Then you have to write your abstract here. You have to give your keynotes, keywords, whatever keywords you have given, that you have to mention here. Then you have to give your area of research. For example, if your area of research is law, then you have to put it here. So we are basically from arts and humanities. We have to give arts and humanities here. If law profile is not, if law field is not here, then we can choose the arts and humanity. And after doing it, we have to search for find journal. Once you submit all the information here, then the elsewhere will show you the number of journals where you can submit your paper. So this is also one of the way to find authenticate journal for publication. So without asking any third party, you can directly check the website for your journal. Now here there are a few points which I will like to discuss here that you have to keep in your mind. Whenever you are choosing your paper, whenever you are submitting your this paper for publication, nowadays many journals they will ask about whether you are choosing for open access or not. Because many of the journal, if you are choosing open access, then for that they might charges you some amount. And here it's Coopers in generally those websites, those who charge amount for it, they clearly mention in the website about it. There is no hide amount what they will say to the author that, okay, your paper has been selected, now you have to send this much of amount. They will not hide the information. The entire information is mentioned in the particular website. Now, what actually is open access means? Open access publication means your paper is freely available to everyone. Anyone can read your paper without paying the amount. So that is the reason journal asks about the publication charges from the author if you are choosing open access. Now, what if you're not choosing the open access? What is the benefit of publication the open access? So benefit is that if your paper is available to everyone, in that case, others will read it. And we also want the same thing. Whenever we publish our paper, we want that others should read our paper. They should know our work. Because in that case only, they can refer our work if they think it's suitable for their research work. And by doing that, we will get a citation. And if you don't just open access, in that case, what will happen? Nothing wrong in that. But the thing is that that paper will not be available freely to others. Those who want to read it, they have to pay that amount to the publisher, not to you, to the publisher. Once they made a payment to them, then only they will be able to download your paper. So that is the difference between open access and this closed one. So it totally depends upon you what you want. If a university provides fund to you, then you can choose the open access. But we hardly get any fund from the university. We don't have this much of fund that we can choose the open access, because in most of the cases, what I have seen that in open access, particularly for if I talk about SCI Index Journal, Scopus Index Journal, they charge minimum 50,000. Minimum, I'm talking about minimum. I have seen many journals where they are charging near about 3 lakh. In Indian currency, it will be near about 3 lakh. That is not possible for us to pay. So in such case, we can simply choose journal without open access. And this was all about my discussion for today. So in case if anyone from you had any query regarding this today's lecture, you can ask me right now. Even you can reach me also. If you think that you had any query regarding how to publish your paper, where to publish your paper, you can directly contact me. Though I have not mentioned my mail ID here, you can easily mail me. My mail ID is Pyali, Pyali, Chatterjee@gmail.com. So regarding publication, if you had any query, you can mail me. You can contact me. But please don't waste your work by publication in the pediatric journal. Don't do it, because that is totally wastage of our work.
Well, ma'am, my question is related to the continuous article publishing. As you said that publishing article in the one Scopus Index Journal, it may take somewhere around 1 year. So what about this continuous article publishings? Because there are certain Scopus Index Journal also which are providing it.
Yeah, look, I told you that Scopus Index Journal or reputed journal, they will always take time. So what you can do in that is, even the UGC recognized journal, if I talk about this Army Law School Journal Mohali, that is also UGC recognized. And every year during June, July, they just give the call for paper. But that journal also took 1 year time for publication. 1 year time. Whenever you want to publish your paper in reputed one, whether it's UGC, Scopus, you have to give this much of time. There are some other journals also which are peer review. There also you can publish a paper just for calculation of API score. What you can do, for example, in yearly you are writing 4 research paper. In yearly you are writing 4 research paper. You are just getting time to write 2 research paper. So you should take a target that I will publish 1 research paper in a reputed one. It can be UGC, it can be Web of Science, it can be Scopus, and 1 in peer review. That you can easily get in market. That you can done easily, because every journal is peer review. UGC has never said that you have to publish in Scopus. You have to publish in UGC recognized. But UGC is saying that you have to publish your research paper in peer review journal for API score. But those who are PhD research scholar, for them, publication is like they have to publish in UGC. But now UGC has changed this rule also. Recently, publication has not been mandatory for PhD research scholar also, after this new guideline. But earlier, for research scholar, it's mandatory that you have to publish your paper in UGC recognized journal or Scopus or Web of Science.
My question was related to the continuous article publishing by the journals.
Continuous article published by a journal. Yes. They had lots of backlog. For example, I have recently one of my paper has been published now, but I submitted that paper last year, and this year November that paper has come. They took this process, and that is only you can find it from this number of publication what they are doing. For example, for a particular journal, they had only single issue. So whatever paper they had in last 2 years, after giving the acceptance, now they will publish it. They are continuous in their publication because they had n number of paper with them. They are getting the paper continuously. And after doing the review only, whatever number of public that they can put it in the journal, they're doing it. Their process is continuous. Here the break will be in your resume. Because for now, if I talk about it, you have written 4 paper in 2022. You have written 4 paper in 2022. But you have received acceptance for 1 paper. For rest 3 papers, you don't know anything. How you will show it? How you will show to your university, to your organization that you have done the research. You have written already 4 paper. That you can show it through the submission site. That you have submitted this form and this is the mail what you have received from the website.
Ma'am, these journals are actually giving these facilities related to the continuous article publishing. And they, if you send that article and these journals are publishing within the 15 or 20 days, because they are continuously in the process of publishing, they keep the certain number of pages vacant for your publication itself. Even the Scopus indexed journal, even the quality index journals are providing these kinds of services. That is a continuous article publishing. It is better known as a CAP in our fraternity.
No, what question you have that I have already discussed. There are many journals who will say that they will publish your paper within 15 days, within 1 month, within 3 months. There are many journals. Even I also know many journals of like that. But the thing is that whether the journal is an authenticate one, whether they will give you the 100% guarantee that after publishing your paper, your name will get reflected in the Scopus website. Whether they gave you the guarantee of that? No, never.
No, ma'am.
Because-
There's a long list of the journals which are providing these services, and those are being listed in the Scopus itself. If you go
yeah, you will find your name for one day or 2 days, and then very next moment you will find it that journal is not there.
No, ma'am, it's not like that.
It's there. It's there.
We'll go
You have not seen. I don't know whether you have came across such cases or not, but I have came across many cases like that.
Okay.
And believe me, I have saved many of my friends from failing such kind of poetry journal. They were about to make the payment for the publication for Scopus website, for Scopus publication. So that is something where the people think that their name will come. Yeah, for 1 or 2 days, their name will might be get reflected in the Scopus website. That very moment when the journal will get removed from the site, your name will also get removed from the Scopus. Then what you will do? It's better to go for an authenticate one. And it's a misconception that you can't publish your paper in open access journal or without paying any amount. There are many journals where you can submit your paper and without making a single payment. For a single payment, you can publish a paper freely. And that also in an authenticate journal. But for that, you have to give your time. You have to be patient.
Okay, ma'am.
Absolutely, ma'am. We definitely agree with the points which you've raised. And thank you so much for actually elaborating all the concepts related to publications, because all of us are at a very raw stage of our lives, and because of which we need to actually clarify that where the publication needs to be done. Thank you so much for your valuable time and contribution to this FDP, ma'am. We're really thankful to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. All the recorded lectures would be available on the My E-Class portal, and assignments would be starting to be they'll be allotted from tomorrow. And anybody is having any login problem for the My E-Class, that to be resolved as soon as possible. We are working on it.
Well, I missed the yesterday class, whether that video is.
So everything would be uploaded there. So we are updating on that within as much as we are taking as less time as possible for updating everything. So we'll let you know. And if there's any other grievance, you can please write down to us on the email ID through which you received the link on the first day.
So there is
Thank you,
nothing
sir.
like attendance for the session.
Sorry, sir.
There is nothing like attendance for the session.
So we are recording everything. It's a recorded session. So we are updating every attendance. We are updating on our own. There's nothing like feedback form on this.
Okay.